Greetings and welcome to the Southside Help Center show. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. This is a live call-in show, so please, by all means, get the number right off the front, 312-738-1060. Give us a call here at the station if you have any questions. Please, 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 please take advantage of it. This is a live call-in show. This is the Southside Help Center show. I would like to first thank our founder, Ms. Betty Smith. She is the one who started the agency back in 1987. Talking about HIV prevention and education, so we truly would like to thank her, our founder, Betty Smith. Also, we would like to thank our executive director, Mrs. Vanessa Smith, for allowing us to continue the work. Southside Help Center has been around for just about 30 years now, and it has truly been a blessing. So we often say, please take advantage of the programs that we have. It is so very important because if we don't use them, we lose them. It's important that we take advantage of our program. So please, if you have a question, call us here at the station. Today, I have two guests, and we're going to talk a little bit about the youth programs at the center. But first, I would like for the guests to introduce themselves. I'm going to go to you first, and your name is?
Jada.
What's your last name?
Cherry.
And your name is?
Jade Cherry.
All right, we got Jade and Jada here today, and we're going to talk a little bit more about youth programs. First, I want to go to the website and let you guys see what you need to do is you can always go to Southside Help Center website. Our website is www.southsidehelp.org. On the website, you're going to find all of the different programs that we have to offer. All of our youth programs, we've been doing youth programs for a lot of years. We have HIV prevention education. We're going to talk about that briefly as well as capacity building. We're also going to talk about direct services. It's very important that you do go to the website because we constantly update the website. You can also get us on Facebook, so please take advantage of it. If you can't reach us, come by the office. The office is located 10420 South Halsted, 10420 South Halsted. Our number at the agency is 773-445-5445. So please, please, please take advantage of it. Either get us on the website, come into the office, or call. One of the things we want to talk about is our youth services and programs because, again, here in the city of Chicago, we know that there's a lot of violence going on in the city. There's a lot of just really unwanted behavior. And one of the reasons that is so oftentimes is because we have to make sure as a people that we come together and provide alternative programs for our youth. And I say that again and again and again because I say, parents, help us to help you. We know parents have to work. We know parents have to provide. So therefore, we know that they need some type of programs that they could put their kids in. One, where they're safe. Two, where they know that they exactly where they are, and it's a safe zone. And also, we do homework. At the Southside Help Center, we have a youth program. The youth program starts from 3 to 7. From 3 to 7. So we even giving you an extra hour longer than daycare. We go from 3 to 7, and it is a free program. So parents, I cannot say enough about taking advantage of the youth programs. Also, the tutoring, your kids doing homework. We got individuals there that will actually help them with their homework. Ms. Tasia Bell Smith is our youth coordinator. She's phenomenal. So parents, please take advantage of these services. And it's from 3 to 7. So if you're in need of an after-school program, check with the Southside Help Center. We're located 10420 South Halsted, and the programs are free. We have been around doing youth programs since we literally, at the same time we started doing HIV prevention, we started doing youth programs. So therefore, we got a lot of youth that we've been able to raise up through the Southside Help Center's programs, and they're very, very successful. One of the things is because the people who there are very compassionate about the work that they do. And one of the things I know is you ladies had an opportunity to go to the summer program this year. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And just briefly, how did you like it?
It was good.
It was good. What were some of the things that you guys had an opportunity to do?
We got to play outside, and I learned how to jump rope, and we got snacks at lunchtime.
And one of the most amazing things was they learned how to jump rope. I was like completely blown away. I loved it. I really loved it because prior to that they couldn't. And Jade, what were some of the places and some of the things that you were able to do while at the summer program?
We went to a lot of field trips, and I liked the lunches there too. Okay, we always like the food.
But let me ask you this. I remember you saying something about going to the Chicago Sky game.
We went there, and it was good, but Chicago Sky did not win.
Oh, they didn't win that game. Okay, well, we know we got Elena Deladon, which is an all-star that's playing for the Chicago Sky. So that was one of the things that the ladies had an opportunity to do is go to the Sky game because, again, we want to make sure that we get our youth involved. We want to make sure that our youth stay engaged because, again, idle mind is the devil's workplace. We truly believe that. So we want to make sure that we can fill as many hours of that day as possible to give our youth an opportunity and a chance. One of the things that I talk about is when our youth don't have a chance to be successful or don't have a chance to succeed. That is because a lot of times when you may think they know better, and the reality of it is they don't because they haven't seen anything different. And we want to make sure that we at least give our youth a chance. That means let them see some different things. That means take them to some different places. Did you guys go to the museum this year or to the, I think, DuSable, I believe it was. It's a couple of other places that you guys had an opportunity to go.
We went to the water park.
The water parks, which were really fun. Where else?
We went to the parks all day.
Sky Zone and
Jack's Warehouse.
Jack's Warehouse. And the reason I'm talking about this is because when you give them an opportunity to do different things and see different things, they want different things. One of the things that when we do outreach, we encounter a lot of people in the streets. And we want, I had an experience on yesterday with a young lady, and the experience for me, it was a good experience. Yet it was not a. It was a difficult experience. And I met a young lady, and she had 3 children, and she was 17, and she was also 3 months pregnant. And I said to myself, one of the things that I needed her to understand was how important she was and how valuable she was as an African American woman. Because just like these girls know, that they're our most valued, they're the most valuable thing we have to, is our young women. They're just extremely valuable to us, and I wanted her to know how important she was or how valuable she was. And one of the things that we do with our youth programs, we do mentoring, male and female mentoring, and with the mentoring comes teaching and guiding and directing them on how to be young ladies, on what they should and should not be doing, and self-esteem, self-worth. Those are taught behaviors. So please, we talk about taking advantage. Come on, girls, be still. We're talking about taking advantage of the programs. These programs are valuable. These programs are truly for you and parents. We say this all the time. We need parents to come in, sit down, talk with the individuals who are providing services for your children. This is a live call-in show. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please call us here at the station, 312-738-1060. A lot of times we'll watch the news over the weekend. Monday will come and we'll talk about how much violence there was in the city, but we have to not just talk about it. We have to get up. We have to come together. We have to provide quality programs. We have to teach our youth that there are alternatives. Another thing we're doing with our youth, if we're talking about with our male mentoring primarily, we're talking about response versus reaction. That's one of the things we're trying to teach our youth is not just to react, but also to respond. Well, what does that mean? One of the things is when you teach a kid one self-esteem, self-worth, and you teach them self-discipline, then it goes in steps. Most of our young people often say they have an anger issue or they have a problem with dealing with their angers, and it's because we haven't taught them anything else. Anger is the most uncontrolled emotion, and it's the one that we can quickest get to. We go from 0 to 10, and we don't go through none of the other steps. And if we don't go to those steps, we can react to a situation, and it can be detrimental to us. That's why we're talking about our youth programs. That's why we're talking about what we need to do as a community. And not to just point the fingers and say this is what needs to happen, but to take advantage and be a part of what those youth programs are, what those youth programs are about. Also, girls, just briefly talk about some of the things that you're doing. What are you involved in?
Praise dance.
Praise dance, and what is that like? How do you like it first?
It's good.
You like it? It's good. And we got a caller. Hold that thought. We're going to get the caller, and then I'm going to come back to you ladies, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, caller, you on the air.
Hi, I just had a question about, I know you talk about your youth program and a lot of the great things that you do. Is there anything in the youth program that helps or talks about or deals with bullying? I know that's like a big thing right now, maybe even something you can talk to with your young guests there.
Absolutely. And the question was, talk about bullying. And you know, we've talked about that before, bullying. And what is one of the things that we said to you guys about if someone is bullying you? What do you have to do?
Try to ignore them.
Ignore them? What is that? Something else you want to do?
Tell somebody.
Tell someone. One of the things that we talked about when we're talking about reaction versus response, we look at a level of different things that go on. And this is with bullying and all kind of other behaviors. Don't be afraid to let someone know. The only way that bullying can go on or be consistent is if nobody says anything about it. You have to, one, take the initiative. If someone is doing something to you that you don't want to happen, you have to respond. Did you want to make a comment?
Me?
Yeah, did you want to make a comment?
About what?
Okay, I thought you were trying to make a comment. It's okay. If it's in the dark, meaning that nobody shines light on the behavior, then the behavior just gets worse. So you have to look at what bullying is. Bullying comes in many different fashions. There can be verbal bullying. That means when somebody's talking to you very, very, very aggressively, or they're talking to you saying the wrong things to you. Also, you can talk about mental bullying, where somebody is saying you're ugly, or somebody's saying you're fat. That's also bullying. Or it's physical bullying, where somebody is putting their hands on you. And you have to, one, take the steps to put a stop to it, because if no one knows this is going on, then no one can address it. And me, as a very concerned parent concerning bullying, one of the things is if I know, then I'm going to address it. And one of the things we talk about is that you guys make sure that if someone says anything or does anything inappropriate, you tell it, right? Mm-hmm. And who do you tell?
If you're at school, the teacher, someone that can take care of it.
Absolutely. If you're at school, talk to your teacher, and don't wait until it happens twice. If something happens that you are not okay with, that you don't approve, you have to report it immediately. The first step is reporting it. Shine some light on it so that somebody can address the matter and say something about it, because, again, if it doesn't get addressed, it won't get better. It'll just get worse. First step is always to report it. If you can't report it to your teacher, then who would you report it to next?
You could, when you get home, you could tell your parents.
Talk to your parents about it. Let your parents know someone is bullying you or someone is doing something that you don't like. One of the other really good things, or other person, if you can't get to your parents or you can't talk to your teacher, what would be another person that you would inform or tell?
Grandma.
You can tell your grandparents. One of the things we know, oftentimes we have extended families. We have what we call Big Mama, Big Papa. Those are grandparents, grandma, grandpa. You can also let them know. If you don't tell your parents, or if you don't have that relationship with your parents, let your grandparents know. It's important that you tell someone. Then what do you think about law enforcement? Would that be someone to tell? Police?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
If they're physically hurting
you can. That's right. If you're being physically assaulted or anything, you can always let an officer know. These are people that are put in your life to protect you. These are people that are put in your life to be responsible and be concerned with you. So it's very important that you guys know that there are steps that you can take when someone is bullying you. Not just with bullying, it's a number of different things you can deal with, even when you're dealing with an abusive relationship. We have people miss this all the time. We have youth that are being abused early on. I was telling you guys about the story about the young lady that I met on yesterday. And again, she told me she was 17, she had 3 children, and she was actually 3 months pregnant. And one of the other things that she said to me was that she was being abused by her boyfriend. And he was currently in jail, had been locked up for putting his hands on her. So there you go, and you're talking about youth, and you're talking about domestic violence amongst youth. This is a very real circumstance. Happens all the time. If you don't know the signs that you're looking for, then you don't know that something is going on. Now, what do you girls think would be a sign of somebody bullying you? What would be one of the things that you would do, you think?
Yeah.
Besides not telling somebody, one of the things that happens when people are being bullied. Do you know?
They hurt you.
They hurt you. But what they do, they get quiet. Parents, you need to be looking for signs. One, if your kid decides that they don't want to go to school no more, and they begin to make up all kind of excuses on a daily basis as to why they don't want to go to school, you really need to be concerned with that, and you really need to look into why is it that this kid all of a sudden doesn't want to go to school. 9 times out of 10, something is happening at school that this child don't want to address or face. So one of the biggest signs you'll see when you're dealing with a lot of the bullying is, one, you're going to find that these individuals no longer want to go to school because someone's at school doing something to them, or either the teachers or something. You need to make sure, and I say this all the time, people always talk about the teachers are mean, this, that, and the third. No, I don't buy that for $1. Now, you do have some teachers that may not be as nice as, because nice as others because of the conditioning that they've been put into, but on average, the teachers are not very mean. They're very nice individuals, and it's important. One, that when you look at why your child is not going to school, and if that's a concern of yours, parents, go to the school, find out why your children no longer want to go to school. That is one of the major signs of bullying, is a kid decides they no longer want to go to school. One of the other things they do is isolation, where they start to become introverts, where they start to be more reserved, where they start to be wanting to be by themselves. All of these things are signs you need to look at, where you normally have an outgoing child or a child that's always having fun, but now all of a sudden they no longer want to do any of these other things. It's because something is going on. When you see that happen to a kid that's normally outgoing or normally always excited, and then that changes, you need to monitor that. Also, another sign you want to look at is when they no longer want to deal with or go with their friends. They really start to become isolated, because there's a number of different things that happens when people are being bullied or when there's domestic violence involved. Scoot up a little bit, Jade. I don't want you to sit so far back. Scoot up a little bit so there you go. You guys can sit side by side. So parents, we're saying take advantage of the programs that we have to offer. And again, we say come in with your children, parents, because parents can also learn some of the signs and symptoms that they want to see when you're dealing with children who are dealing with bullying, when you're dealing with children who are dealing with domestic violence issues, also when you're dealing with children who may be getting involved in substance abuse. Again, it happens very, very early on. We want parents to know signs and symptoms, because if it's addressed most times, if it's what you call nipped in the bud, the chances are we can make a difference. So parents, take advantage of the youth programs that the Southside Help Center has to offer. Ms. Tasia Bell Smith is our youth program director. She's going to be there from 3 to 7, so please bring your kids. It's a free program. Also, we have a drum line at Southside Help Center, and we always ask for volunteers. If you have some experience with playing drums, come by the center, speak with Ms. Bell, and see how you can give back that time. Again, it's so important that we as a people, parents, community, we cannot stand by and watch our young people self-destruct. We have to be on the front line. We have to be in there with them. We have to be giving them guidance and direction and talking. We have to be a part of who they are in order for them to make the difference. And back to you ladies, I know you were talking about dancing. You guys dance. Explain to me kind of like what praise dancing is.
It's dancing for God.
It's dancing for the Lord.
Dancing at church.
Dancing at church. And you guys enjoy that? It's very important. She said dancing for the Lord. That's what praise dancing is. And that does my heart good to know that this is one of the things that they've been exposed to, but they actually enjoy it. They look forward to going to practice. Not only do they look forward to going to practice, they rarely want me to see any of their moves, because they oftentimes want to surprise me. So it's very important, parents, that we expose our kids to a lot of different things early on. Also in school, some of the things that you guys are doing in school that you enjoy. Talk about that a little bit.
Gym.
Gym is one thing. Music. So at school, are you playing instruments or?
No.
Not yet?
We do dancing, singing. Sometimes we play drums.
Drums, dancing, and singing?
And faking things.
Okay. Also, I know you guys got a performance coming up.
Tomorrow.
Okay. And what is that performance about?
Black history.
Oh my God, Black history. One of the things that we want to make sure that we instill in our kids, one, Black history is every day. We don't not want to just predicate all of our history to 1 month. Now let me say this. I'm grateful for Black History Month because it does allow us to shine a light on all of the accomplishments of African Americans, but we do not want to predicate or we do not want to restrict our Black history to 1 month. So every day is Black history for me and mine. Every day we want to talk about some of the things that we as African Americans have accomplished. We don't want to shrink it down to just 1 month. We want to make sure that we're sharing with our youth on a regular basis what their history is. And a lot of times the Black history comes from your own family. They come from your own family, and some of the things that your grandmother may have taught you. And think about this for a second, girls. What is one of the things that your grandmother told you that you remember?
I remember that.
Go ahead, if you remember, Jada. Jada, you go ahead, and Jada, why are you thinking?
She said that she would come over for Christmas.
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 Every Christmas. So one of the things that your grandmother instilled with you is Christmas. What is Christmas about? Just give me one example of what Christmas is about.
Jesus.
Jesus. They both said Jesus, and I'm so glad because oftentimes we get caught up with Santa Claus, and that's not what we want to do. They talked about the fact that their grandmother would come over every Christmas, and one of the things she's instilled in them is Christmas and the celebration of Christmas, but what Christmas is truly supposed to be about, and that's Jesus. And that's really, really awesome that this is a lesson that they were able to be taught by their grandparents, and it's important, grandparents, that we also take a stand with our young people. And I know a lot of our young people, a lot of our grandparents have their grandkids and they're taking care of their grandkids, and I truly commend you for that. And also, if you're a grandparent, you know, just be there, you know, just reach out for them and always keep that open door for our young people so that they can come to you and they can feel comfortable with talking to you about anything that's going on in their world. That's one of the things that I try to do is keep the doors open so that as our children get older, they can come and say, this is what's going on, that's what's going on, whether it's somebody dealing with peer pressure, vital. So we want to make sure in our youth programs that we address peer pressure. Well, what is peer pressure? Peer pressure, do you guys know what peer pressure is? Okay, peer pressure is when someone that's a peer, meaning someone that's at school, that's your age or friend, are trying to get you to do something that you don't want to do. And then they put pressure on you to do it, whether it's to smoke a cigarette. And they be like, come on, you can smoke a cigarette, and they put pressure on you to do it. That's what you would consider to be peer pressure. Peers are other students that's the same age that you guys are, like in your classroom, some of your classmates, those are your peers. So we have to be mindful of peer pressure. What is peer pressure and how do we deal with peer pressure? And again, as we begin to teach our children and present them with more and more circumstances, life circumstances, and dealing with conflict resolutions and dealing with different situations, and presenting them with that. We look at role plays. What is a role play? Role play is when we set up a scenario so that we can let our kids see if this should happen, this is a response that you should have. We want to talk about reactions versus response. That don't react to a situation, respond to a situation. So look at what the steps are. When you look at the steps to a situation, then you're more likely to get better results. For instance, when somebody's doing something or put their hands on you, tell someone. And if that doesn't work, you tell again. And if that doesn't work, you tell again and tell someone else. You want to go 2, 3, 4 steps before you react to it. What may a reaction be? A lot of times the reaction may be violence. You know, you don't want to resort to violence. Reactions may be pulling a gun. You don't want to resort to violence. Reactions may be getting a knife. You don't want to resort to violence. So teach our kids the levels. If we're able to teach them the levels of how to respond as opposed to react, I think we're going to have so much better results with our young people. So parents, family, please take advantage. I'm going to go right back to the PC just one more time. Please check out our website, SouthsideHelpCenter.org, www.southsidehelp.org. Go to our youth programs. Go to our HIV education and prevention, capacity building, and direct services. Sit straight, girls. Go to those programs and take advantage of them, please, because, again, help us to help you, parents. Help us to help you get involved with your young people. Know what they're doing and where they're at. Take advantage of the programs that we're offering at the Southside Help Center. Once again, Southside Help Center has been around for 30 years. This is our 30-year anniversary, and we have been providing quality programs. We have been providing quality youth programs. So please, 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 take advantage of the programs. If you have a young person and you don't know what to do with them, bring them to the Southside Help Center. We have a youth program just from 3 to 7 where they'll be able to get tutoring. It's a safe space. Also, we do a lot of other things at the Southside Help Center. So next time we come on, we're going to talk a little bit more about our HIV prevention and education. Also, we're out in the field. We got 2 trucks on the street. If you see the Knockout HIV truck, stop us. We got a lot of stuff going on those trucks. We may be providing food that day. We provide hygiene kits and a number of different things. So please take advantage of the programs. And if you see us, stop us, talk to us about some of the things that you want to do. Girls, I want you to say good night in peace. You want to give them a peace sign? We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Until we see you again, we bid you peace.